starting with a little story I have as a parent. And I want to ask you, what's the worst accidental parent move you've made that made you feel like a complete douchebag? No, jerk face. I'm going to change the language there. What is the worst parenting move you did by accident that made you feel like a jerk face? And I want to tell you the story because I want to talk today about perspective. And I'm going to start a little bit with one of the other mates who's in the 75 Hard Challenge group with me. He had an injury. Many of us have had a few. He's the kind of guy who likes to go hard. Avi, I really respect that. I think that's amazing. And I'm curious to know how things are going since he's had the injury. Obviously, when you get an injury, you got to change the approach you have. And he, hope you don't mind me sharing this, Avi, he admitted that he feels like if he's not going hard, it's not like, not really guys. And I can respect that because I've been challenged with that myself. I've mostly just been doing walking. I mean, that's real exercises I've been doing. I've done a few bike rides. I think I've been to the gym 3 times. I did yoga a few times. I did stretching yoga, which was like not really exertion at all. While I'm doing this live stream, I even walk quite a bit slower than I would normally because it helps with the video. Even when I walk slowly, it's a little shaky here. So, Avi realized he had to make a shift. He just had to change his perspective. And we joked that, we were all on plateaus right now. And he joked that, hey, maybe I'll do this like a little more relaxed and we'll find that the plateau will end and we'll see what happens. I had another story tonight that went actually with my little guy, my 4-year-old. God bless his soul. We're having dinner tonight. Pretty classic parent moment. If you kids eat your dinner, there'll be some ice cream afterwards. And there's usually some expectations so that there's no loopholes like, oh, I had one piece, that's having my dinner, it counts. So it was like you have to eat a couple of those, a couple of those, a couple of those. The last thing on the list, he did everything else fine. In fact, he ate more vegetables than were in the list. He did great, but my own personal motivation was really hoping to get him to try the sweet potatoes that I would made because I thought they were awesome. My 9-year-old thought they were awesome. I'd like to put them on the rotating menu, and I kind of was curious to see what he would think about the sweet potatoes I made. So I was like, you have to have this one little glob of sweet potatoes. He didn't really put up a fight. He didn't look all that worked up about it. He wasn't very like, oh, he's like, I don't want to do that. And he even ate more lettuce to like show me, like, I'll eat the vegetables. I just don't want to eat the sweet potatoes. I was like, come on, you got to eat them if you want to have your ice cream. So the good little soldier, really hilariously, actually, he made a real scene of it. But try to get them off of the fork. He's showing how difficult it is, and they're rolling around. He's laughing and puts them in his mouth, and he immediately proceeds to throw up. He eats the mashed potatoes, and something about it just triggered, and he started crying. And he's like, I have to throw up. And I'm like, oh, man, what have I done? And yeah, I felt pretty bad. My sister recapped this event pretty well by saying, and technically speaking, literally speaking, he now is only having ice cream for dinner. Because, of course, I was like, well, you tried the potatoes, big guy. And man, I felt like a jerk. Looking back on it and reflecting why I was insistent on the potatoes, I wasn't even abrupt about it or anything like that. I just was like, come on, you got to have the potatoes. And looking back, I probably could have let it go. Probably could have let the potatoes go. And the perspective on this is sometimes you just have to let things take a different course. Potatoes can be tried another time. If I'm going to put them in the rotating menu, we could have tried it many other times. But my ego wanted to know that they were good, that he would accept them, and that they were another thing that we could put on the list of. For those of you who have to cook for a number of people, that sometimes coming up with a rotating menu can get boring, or we want to spice it up a little bit, change it up a little bit. So then, for some reason, that brought to mind the whole idea of how we exercise, how we're doing this. But it reminded me, this challenge isn't a physical challenge. It's not about just getting the exercise. It's not about changing your physique or your the way you eat or drink or sleep. It's about the mental challenge of doing it on an ongoing basis. And it reminded me that that's actually the point. It's actually to build better habits, to build new and fresh ways of looking at things, way of life, and sticking to it for 75 days. And that's the hard part. I just joined a 75 Hard Facebook group. I decided I wasn't going to do it at the beginning. I've got a good group. We're supported. I was thinking that when I needed to spice things up or possibly get more support, I would join the 75 official Facebook group. I don't believe it was a good idea. I joined it, and there was a lot of very technical and angry, decisive. They're like very strict about exactly what 75 hard has to look like. I'm not even sure I've been doing it right. Am I even doing 75 hard? Am I doing 75 mark? I don't know. I've been questioning that a lot since I joined the damn group, which has faltered my confidence on it. But it doesn't mean I've stopped doing what I am doing. And from what I can tell, likely some of the guys in my group aren't exactly following what 75 hard is either. I listened to the podcast, I read the 2 pages. I thought I was doing it all, but there's some discrepancies in there. So I'm gonna get through the next not gonna do the math, 30 some days, and then I'm gonna reflect and reevaluate if doing 75 hard again is actually what I need to do. There is a phase 2 and 3 of this once you've done it once, and because I'm seeing such great mental, emotional, and physical results, I'm definitely going to be doing this again in some form or another. I want to take it up a notch. I've been doing a lot of research on carbohydrates, gluten, how the body is affected by these things, how it affects diabetes. Some of you know, I mentioned at least once in another stream, I am diabetic and I am taking pills that I would get off of. I've already gotten off of 2 of them. They just give you a whole freaking like smorgasbord of pills right off the bat, and just makes me feel weird that they can't explain what some of them do. And statins, which are for cholesterol, and some of them are for cholesterol and blood pressure. There's actually some studies out there in this book I'm reading, listed a whole bunch of studies you can go review that say statins actually proliferate diabetic situations in your body, which actually means that you need the diabetic drug. So that means you're taking one drug to fight another one that adds on to it. That's really frustrating. Now, I haven't been taking the statins. My doctor is very angry, and more so the specialist who prescribes them. He's not angry, but he's like, you really should take them. You really should take them. So it's hard not to. But when I take them, I get dizzy, I get forgetful, and I get a bit disoriented, which are all signs of the effects of high sugar on your brain. So perspective is very important. Am I doing 75 hard? I'm questioning myself because I don't know if I'm exactly doing it. Am I doing 75 mark? Absolutely. It's been an amazing experience. The brothers I'm doing it with are great. I've been getting a lot of support from friends, and best of all, I feel good. I have a routine. I'm getting out for the exercise I need, and this has been an amazing experience. So what happened to my son? You're probably wondering if anyone's sticking around still for the end of the story. In essence, well, I felt bad. We kind of had to get up. He's like, I need to throw up. I need to throw up. So tried taking him to the bathroom. He didn't want to throw up in the toilet. So I got him a bowl. Sorry for those of you who are on dinner time right now. And yeah, he threw up. And then I said, hey, come over here. And I just kind of walked up to my leg and I gave him a little tap and a hug. And I said, so what kind of ice cream bar do you want? Sorry about that, buddy. And man, do I feel like a jerk. But he's going to survive. And I'll know better next time. So, Avi, more power to you, brother. I know you're sticking to your program, working hard through this. All the other folks I'm doing it with, I hope you're feeling good about it. I'm going to bring it up in the WhatsApp chat if I'm actually doing this program properly. And regardless, I'm still proud of myself, still doing it. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe I'll tighten it up a bit or do some fine tuning. To everybody else who's out there with me, I really appreciate it. Love you. Good vibes to all of you. I hope you have some nice weather. I hope you're not in a place where you feel, pushed down or isolated. And reach out if you do. Be happy to have a chat with you. I love you very much. MarkDee saying, just remember, have a great night.